All right, let's start off easy. Can this create an online store for shoes? So I'm going to call this coolshoes.store. Let's see what that gives us. Pretty impressive, but not enough to make me mind blown. Let's try to create a piano synth. So I'm going to type in piano synth. All right, does this actually work? Wow. And what if I change this? Very cool, very cool. Really impressive, I must say. I'm really close to being mind blown. We're almost there. All right, can it create a drum pad? All right, this is what we get. Let me fill in a pattern and then click play. Come on, really? All right, can it create Microsoft Excel? So I'm gonna write create an interactive Microsoft Excel app. No way. And do formulas work? Let me try equals A1 times A2. No freaking way. Can it create Windows XP? Come on. And do these all work? The start menu works. All right. Does Paint work? Oh my God. Can it create an interactive 3D shape viewer? Oh my God. This is insane. Alright, this AI is called Websim. It's completely free to try out. You can simply sign up with your Google or Discord account. And then once you're in, you're going to see this page. Now you can browse other creations that other users have published, and I'll show you some cool examples in a second. Or in this URL bar up here, you can go ahead and create your own website. You basically type in a prompt like make XYZ or an imaginary URL like twitterfordogs.com, something like that. And it creates the website or app for you on the fly. Now, this website or URL doesn't actually exist on the internet, right? But you're creating it in this virtual environment, this simulated internet. So this tool is actually creating its own alternative internet. How insane is that? All right, so let's get started. It's really simple to use. You can just type in your prompt or URL here, or you can upload a reference image, and then you can choose the AI model. I would always recommend going with the newest and most intelligent model right now, which is Sonnet 3.5. And then this can create a variety of things. So let's start with something simple. I'm going to create an online store to sell my shoes. So it's going to be cool-shoes.store. And then we'll click enter and see what this generates. And by the way, Websim has been around for a while, so this isn't any new startup that was just launched. However, it wasn't really that good before, but ever since last week with the launch of Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which proved to be absolutely amazing, you can basically get it to create entire games or websites or apps in just one prompt. So check out my video on Claude 3.5 if you haven't already to see all the cool things that it can do. And so now with this tool being linked to Claude 3.5, it can create some incredible things. It unleashes a ton of new creative possibilities, which I'll show you in this video. All right, so you can see now it is creating my online shoe store, and it even uses an AI image generator to generate photos of shoes for me. How cool is that? Now, again, this is a completely fictional website that only exists in websim.ai. This doesn't exist on the internet itself. This is like an alternative internet. Now, you can save this web page by going to this icon in the top right corner, and then you can click download website. So this downloads an HTML file to my computer. And then if I open it with Chrome, you can see that it's a standalone website, excluding the images. But I mean, there you go. Here's how you can create a landing page in just a few seconds. All right, now going back to Websim, note that these words also link to other pages. So for example, for About Us, if you look at the bottom left corner, it says the URL is cool-shoes-store/about. Now, this website hasn't been created yet, but what you could do is actually click on this, and then now it's generating this page on the fly. Again, I didn't need to prompt it on anything further. It just knows to automatically create this about page, keeping the same styling as the home page. You can see that the header, the menu is the same as the home page. So here we go. Here's the About Us page, and then let's click on catalog and see what we get. Again, it's generating this page on the fly. Very cool. Now notice that these are not all shoes, so you probably need to go in and edit the products and the descriptions, but it's already quite impressive. You can sort by these different options, you can select your category, etc. Now let's say there's a page that doesn't exist here that you want to create. All you got to do is edit this URL based on wherever you want the page to be located in your website hierarchy. So for example, we can create a refund policy page like this, coolshoes.store/refund policy. And again, it will go ahead and create this page on the fly. Very nice. And notice it's keeping the menu, the header consistent, also the orange color of the headers, it's keeping that consistent as well. You can also do something like, for example, catalog / casual. So this casual page is a subpage of the catalog page. And you can later add other subpages like business or outdoors or whatever. So if we click on this, again, it's going to generate a new page based on this URL. Very nice. You can see there are some alignment problems, but you could always add additional prompts for it to fix these issues. You can also prompt it further to add new features. So for example, I noticed I don't have a shopping cart icon here, so I can prompt it by saying, add a shopping cart icon in the top right. And let's see if it can do that. All right, perfect. So now you can see that I have a shopping cart icon now in the top right corner. Very, very cool. Now there's even more you can do to customize the URL. So usually for websites, you can add parameters at the end of the URL. So to add parameters, you need to first add question mark, and then you would add the name of the parameter, and then equals the value of the parameter. And if you want to add another parameter, you can add like the name of your second parameter and the value of your second parameter. So let me show you an example. Right now the price is, I assume, in USD. Let's change the currency to Japanese yen. So we could add a parameter at the end of the URL called currency and set that equal to JPY. And then let's see what that gives us. Very cool. So not only did it change the currency to Japanese yen, as you can see down here as well, but it also was smart enough to change the language to Japanese. How cool is that? That is very impressive. All right, let's add another parameter. So if you already have an existing parameter and you want to add an additional one, all you gotta do is use the and symbol. And then this time, let's set this website to dark mode. So I'm gonna write dark mode equals on and see what that generates. So it should be smart enough to generate a website with darker colors. How cool is that? And then it also added a button at the top here to change this from dark mode to light mode. Very impressive. So let's say you don't like the look of this, you want to revert back to a previous page. All you need to do is click on this URL bar and you can scroll back to all the prompts that you've entered previously. So let's say I want to go all the way back to this one. I will just click on this and it would take me back to this generation. Note that if I click the home page here or click the About Us here, it's actually going to generate a completely new page on the fly. This is not going to take you to the About page that you generated previously. If you want to access a previous generation, make sure to access it here. All right, so I'm gonna go home now, and then let's create something a bit trickier. Instead of coolshoes.store, I'm going to write animals.encyclopedia and see what that gives me. Very cool. So you can search for any animal here. There are different categories. So let's click on mammals and see what that gives us. All right, now it's showing us a few examples of mammals, and note that it's generating these images using AI on the fly. So you'll notice some of these images like this blue whale and this platypus, they do not look real. So you'll have to go in and plug in some images yourself. And then if we click on learn more for lion, let's see what we get. How cool is that? It basically generates a Wikipedia page of a lion. This is like creating an alternative Wikipedia that lives in this simulation. Listen to a lion's roar. Does it actually have audio? Okay, no it does not. If it actually pulled an audio clip of a lion's roar, I would be mind blown. But it's not that good yet. All right, next I'm going to add some parameters. So I can say like language equals Spanish and dark mode equals true, and let's see what that gives us. Very nice. So it has set the language to Spanish and the website is now in dark mode. But enough about creating simple websites. Let's try to test its limits. So I'm going to go back home and then start a new website. This time, what if I try typing in reddit.com? What would that give me? Oh my god, this is crazy. So if I type in reddit.com, this AI creates its own version of Reddit. This AI can just create its own simulated version of the existing internet. So for example, if you hate Reddit or if you hate what Facebook has become today, you can get this website to generate your very own personalized version of Reddit or Facebook or whatever. This is heading into sci-fi territory, but eventually, people could just generate fake websites that they want to see and not even use what's really on the internet. Think of like a personalized internet for everyone. Now, by the way, you don't have to type in a URL in this bar. You can type in a regular prompt. So it really depends on what you prefer. So for example, I'm going to go back to the home page and then start a new generation. This time I'm going to write make a Twitter, but all the users are dogs. And let's see what that gives us. Holy smokes, that is crazy. It even renamed Twitter to Pupster. And there you have it. This is like a very preliminary version of Twitter, but all the users are dogs. Let's see if this actually works. Now, this is just a standalone page, so sometimes some of these functions might not work, and you need to manually link these functions yourself. But let's see if this works. What if I type in woof woof? Holy smokes, it does work. That is crazy. All right, so I'm going to go on the actual Twitter, and then I'm going to take a screenshot of this left sidebar, and then paste it in here. I'm just pressing Control V, so I pasted the screenshot in here, and then I'm going to write add this left sidebar. Also, add a right sidebar like Twitter. And let's see if it can pull that off. This is just insane. Notice how it even tried to pull some of the icons from Twitter and add it here. And then here we have what is really on the right side of the real Twitter page. So we got some popular tags like Squirrel Watch and Barking News and Treats for All. How cool is that? I'm going to go back home and then here I'm going to write create a Tinder, but all the users are cats. And let's see what that gives us. The site name is called Meow Match. What a cute name. And here you go. This is a Tinder interface that it was able to create in a matter of seconds. And you can like or dislike. I'm going to try to dislike this one. Sorry, Whiskers. And then now we have Nala. So again, this just unleashes so much possibilities. And I do think that if this gets good enough, people might start to create their own virtual internets, their own personalized version of the internet with all these fake websites and fake content that they would like to see. So this might affect the real internet in some strange way. But creating websites, this is simple stuff. I'm not impressed yet. So I'm going to go back home and then I'm going to type in piano.synth. And let's see if it can create a piano synth. I'm going to show you even more complex stuff in a second. Whoa, all right, let me play these keys and see if they work. Whoa, that's crazy how it's able to generate this website with just one prompt. You can also record, play, stop. There's also different sound waves. Let's try Sawtooth. Holy smokes, it really is a sawtooth sound. All right, that's already really impressive. Let's add even more features. So I'm going to write add settings for reverb, delay, attack, release. So let's see if it can add those settings. All right, so here's the default. All right, so if I increase the release, the sound should sound longer. And yes, it does. Now, let me drag this to like somewhere in the middle. Okay, now let me increase the reverb. This is basically the echo of the sound. I'm not sure if I hear any echo. Yeah, I'm not sure about the reverb. But anyways, let's try delay. Okay, it looks like delay doesn't work yet. What about attack? So if I increase the attack, we should hear less of a plucking sound. So that works. Very cool. So it looks like attack and release work, but reverb and delay doesn't, but you can always prompt it further by saying like reverb or delay doesn't work, please fix it. All right, let me show you something cooler. So I'm going to add this piano to another page. Now, just for simplicity, I'm going to remove these settings. So I'm going to go back into the history and just select the original piano synth. So it's just going to be like this. Let me play this to make sure it still works. Perfect. So up at the top here, I'm going to click this bookmark icon, which is going to bookmark my page. I'm just going to call it piano. And this is key here. You need to press publish. And so now this page is going to be published under websim.ai at your username. And my username is Bob. I'm one of the early users of Websim, so I was able to snatch the username Bob and then /piano or whatever you want to name it. So for example, you can just call this ASDF. And it will turn into ASDF. But for us, let's keep it at piano. And then so for example, if I open another window and then I paste this link in the URL, this takes us to this piano synth. So any user can use it. They don't need to log into Websim to use this. Now, why are we publishing this link? Let's say I want to add my piano to the bottom of this. Well, I'll show you how to do that in a sec, but here's another cool app that another user created. So here's what it can do. So let's say we have a kick here. Let's just add 4 kicks and then play it and see what it sounds like. Very nice. And then let's add a snare like here and see what that sounds like. Perfect. And then we also have some hi-hats. So let's add an open hi-hat here and here. Actually, no, it should be, let's add one here, and then let's fill in the rest with closed hi-hats. Let's do something like this and see what it sounds like. Awesome. And you can also adjust the tempo. So let's make it faster. You can also make it slower. Perfect. So this is another cool thing you could create if you wanted to. Now, let's say I want to add my piano synth to this app as well. So what you would do is in the real URL bar, which is up here, not in this one, but in this one, you can add in a plugin parameter. So again, to add in parameters in a URL, you type question mark if there isn't one already, and then you would type plugin and then equals at Bob / whatever you named your tool. In our case, it's at Bob/piano. And voila. So here we have not only the original drum sequencer that this person made, but I just appended my piano synth by adding this parameter plugin equals my URL. And let's make sure that both of these work. So I'm gonna do a simple sequence here. Let's play this. Thanks to our sponsor, Viva. Bring your imaginations to life with Viva, an advanced AI platform that allows you to create stunning visual content, including images, videos, and even 3D models. They have powerful capabilities such as text to image, image to image, text to video, and even image to video. And Viva's magic doesn't end there. They offer a ton of AI-powered editing tools that will elevate your creative process, such as repainting, image enhancer, magic expand, and object removal. You can also enhance videos to 4K resolution. But that's not all. If you're in e-commerce, this is perfect for you. You can generate virtual models wearing your clothing designs, so you never have to hire a full photo shoot again. Plus, you can easily generate 3D models with just text or an image. You can also generate and edit these 3D models directly in Apple Vision Pro for a seamless AR experience. The best thing is you can try all of these features for free during their beta phase. Check it out via the link in the description below. Unleash your creativity today. How cool is that? And you can slap on more plugins if you want. So if you find another plugin, all you got to do is at the top here, remember it's not the fake URL bar, but your real URL bar in your internet browser, you can add another plugin. So plugin equals whatever. So for example, this user called C15R has created some really cool plugins that you can use. So for example, this one is used quite a lot. It's called the IDE plugin. And this plugin allows you to see and edit the source of an existing Websim. So let's say you want to see the source code here. You want to see this IDE button. Well, all you got to do is at the top, you add and then another plugin equals, and then this user is called at C15R/IDE. All right, perfect. Now you'll notice that there's a drop-down button here, which shows you the code of this entire page. Notice there's also another button at the bottom here. So if you press this, it opens up this, what do you call this? Like developer console view. And then you can look at the code here. You can look at elements, network, etc., etc. So that's another cool plugin you can add to your existing page to see what the code is like. And if you do it this way, then you don't need to click on this button and then download the HTML file to your computer every time and then open it to see the code. You can see the code right on your page with this IDE plugin. All right, let's create something more complex. In the URL, I'm going to type in audio.visualizer and see what that gives us. Very nice, very nice. Notice that the only context I gave it was audio.visualizer. I didn't tell it to give me these different visualizer patterns. I didn't tell it to allow me to upload a track or give me this play button, but that is what it did. So a super intelligent model that can oftentimes get everything in just one prompt. So I'm going to upload a song that I generated with Udio, and then before I press play, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust this setting. I'm not sure what it does. And then I'm going to test out these different settings here and see if they all work. So let's go ahead. Wow, how cool is that? So this appears to be a volume slider, and all of these different visualizations work. This whole audio visualizer just works straight out of the box. Absolutely crazy. All right, I'm gonna go back home and let's create something even more difficult. So I'm going to prompt it with create an interactive Microsoft Paint app. And just a reminder, notice that I can enter in a simple prompt like this, or I can enter in a URL like audio.visualizer. It's really up to which one you prefer. So instead of writing it like this, I could also write Microsoft.paint and see if that works. But I'm going to undo that and just leave it with this prompt and then click generate and see what that gives us. I would be really impressed if it's able to get this in just one prompt. Whoa. All right, this is what we got. So it appears this is the color. Let me try to draw on here. Wow, this is awesome. Let me try red now. Holy crap. I guess this is the size of the brush. So let me increase this to 12 and then set this to blue. And the size does increase. Wow. And then let's see what line does. Holy smoke. So line works. Let me change the color to green now. Let's try a rectangle. Holy smokes. And a rectangle works. Let's see if a circle works. Circle works as well. And finally, eraser. And eraser works too. Holy smoke. So this whole thing just works with one prompt. All I prompted it was create an interactive Microsoft Paint app. This is insane. I'm not sure what this window is. I don't think it's used for anything. But other than that, I mean, very impressive already. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bookmark this, and then I'm going to call it Paint, and then I'm going to publish this And this is too long of a name, so I'm just going to call it paint. And we'll go back to this. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this in a second. It's going to blow your mind even further. All right, next I'm going to go back home and I'm going to type in create a Microsoft Excel app and press generate. And let's see what that gives us. I would be really impressed if it's able to generate this in one go. It's a lot trickier than Microsoft Paint. All right, so we have this Microsoft Excel. This looks very similar to Microsoft Excel. These tabs don't actually work. I'm sure we need to prompt it further to specify what options we show under each of these. Let's see if the cells work. So let's type in 10. All right, so 10 works. And then let's type in 30 here. And then I'm going to try a formula now. I'm going to try equals. And then, all right, so I cannot select a cell like you would in Microsoft Excel. So I have to manually type it in, A1 plus A2. And if all goes well, this should give me 40. So it seems like formulas do not work. So what I'm going to do is just type in add working formulas. And let's see if it can do any better. All right, so here's the revised version. I'm going to type 10 again, and then 30 here, and then equals. Oh, all right, now you see, whenever I press equals here, I'm getting an error. I have no idea what that error is. So if I expand my console view, which is just Control-Shift-I on Google Chrome, I see this error. So I just need to paste in this error back into the prompt and see if that works. So I can paste it in here like this. But another cool way, instead of opening the console view in Google Chrome, is like I showed you before. Up at the top here, you can also append a plugin. So I'm going to press question mark and then type plugin equals at C15R/IDE, and this opens the IDE plugin that this user has created. So you can see now it's the same table, but we now have this drop down where you can see the code. Let me get rid of this. Or you can also have this button here, which opens up the developer tools down here. But anyways, I'm just going to copy the error, paste it in here, and then see what we get. All right, let's try this out now. So I'm going to type in 10, I'm going to type in 30 here, and then I'm going to try to enter it here. So in this formula box, I'm going to write equals A1 plus A2, and voila, it equals 40. Let's try multiplication now. So let's go down here. I'm going to write equals A1 times A2. And voila, it equals 300. So there you go. That's how you fix a bug. It's just if you have no idea what's going on, you can always pull up the console view in your internet browser and copy and paste whatever error message you get. All right, so again, I'm going to bookmark this. And then let's just call this Excel. I'm going to publish this, and then the link will be at bob/Excel. Now, I'm going to show you why I'm doing this right now. So let's head out of here and go back home. And then here's the grand finale. I'm going to create an entire Windows XP. I'm going to write make a blank desktop with a start menu in the lower left corner with the regular Windows XP options. And then just to keep it simple for now, the desktop background is plain gray. And let's see what that gives us. And by the way, let me know in the comments below if you think Windows XP is still the greatest Windows of all time. All right, so we have our Windows XP desktop with a gray background, and the desktop is blank. Plus we have a start menu in the lower left, and if you open that, it gives you the regular options like my computer and search and log off or turn off computer. It also has a nice timer at the bottom here, which actually syncs to the time right now. It is indeed 10:26 right now. Now let's see if these actually work. All right, so if I click on any of these, they do not work yet. I probably need to prompt it further. But here's the impressive part. Get ready to be mind blown. So what I'm going to type here now is add piano as an app on the desktop. Clicking on it should open this app in a small separate window. And then what I'm going to do is actually paste in the piano app that I just made. So this is located in @bob/piano. And just a quick reminder, this is the app. All right, so this is the piano app. This is the link to that app. And I believe you do need to publish it first so that you have this type of URL. So @username/ whatever you named it. So let's click run and see if this works. It's building now. All right, and here's what we get. So if we click on this, holy smokes, we do have our piano app in here. Now, I couldn't find any option to expand this window. I'm trying to drag it, but it's not doing anything. So we'll need to scroll down. Let's see if these actually work. How cool is that? Let me also change this to triangle this time. Let's see if that works. Awesome. So this is pulling this fully functional app into my Windows XP operating system in a separate window. How cool is that? So now let's do the same thing, but add in Microsoft Paint and Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to copy the prompt now, and then I'm going to paste this in here. Now I'm going to add Paint as an app on desktop, and then this should open a separate window, and then the link should be Paint. And this is the Paint app that we just created a moment ago. Next, I'm going to press Shift-Enter to add in a new line. I'm going to paste in another line. This time, I'm going to add Excel, and then we're going to link it to our Excel app that we just created. So let's see if this works. All right, moment of truth. And we have piano, we have Paint. It even pulled the Excel icon. That is so cool. Let's test out Paint now. And yes, this is our window. And yes, we can draw on it. And yes, the functions all work. Awesome. So let's exit Paint. And now let's open Excel. And then let's type in 30 here. And then let's type in equals A3 times A4. That should give us 900. And indeed, we get 900. How cool is that? We just built a Windows XP desktop and we linked it to 3 different apps that we built separately. So, I mean, if you were creative and you had a lot of time and you were obsessive about this, you could potentially build an entire operating system with your own apps, all in this simulation. Now, to spice it up a bit more, I'm going to add the original Windows XP wallpaper to it so it's not just a boring gray background. So I'm going to click Copy Image Address, and then over here, I'm going to say, change the wallpaper to this image. And then I'm going to paste in this image and see what we get. Holy smokes. And there we go, folks. This is how you create a Windows XP desktop. Super cool tool. You can do so many creative things with it. Now, this is basically how you would use it and all the advanced features you can do with it, but there are a lot more cooler examples that you can browse from other users as well. So here are some of them. This one is pretty interesting. This is a 3D torus viewer, and note that for, objects like this or the graphics in the background, you probably need to link it to an external source, just like I did with the Windows XP background. You need to specify in the prompt what image you want to link it to. But notice that when I move the mouse around, this does move around like a 3D interactive viewer. And then I can change all these different settings. So here I'm changing the roughness of this torus. Here I'm decreasing the metalness. So right now it does look more plastic. Now if I increase the metalness, it does look a lot shinier. And then what is this? I have no idea what this does. What about bump scale? Okay, so this increases the ridges on this torus. And then what is displacement scale? All right, so this changes the shape slightly. What is environment map intensity? All right, so I believe this is how much it reflects the environment. Let's turn off auto rotate so it doesn't auto rotate. What does texture repeat do? Oh, I see. So it just repeats this pattern multiple times. Let's try to change the color to white. And then instead of torus, what else could we do? Could we do a sphere? Wow, very nice. So this is a really cool thing that someone else built. Here's another crazy example that someone else has made. So this takes an image which you can upload. So I'll just show you the default image first. It's of this cat. And basically it turns this image into a block of particles. And when you click dissolve, this basically dissolves and all these particles fall to the ground. So let me click this. How crazy is that? I have no idea what the use case of this is, but it's just a cool effect that this user has built. And by the way, you can check how they prompted it by just clicking into this URL, and you can see the history of their prompts. So I'm going to upload a new image. So it looks like this, and you can see that it also turns this into a block of particles. And if I press dissolve, all these particles drop down. What an interesting effect. Here's another one. Someone managed to build VS Code in this simulator. So you can see here there are all these different files like index, styles.css, and then even a JavaScript file. And if you click run, it actually runs the code. So how cool is that? And then notice these tabs here. These are the pages that you've opened. So you can close these if you want, just like you would in VS Code. And then do these work? All right, these buttons do not work yet. I'm sure if you prompt it further, you can also get these buttons to do whatever function you want. But how cool is that? And then here's another one that another person created. This is basically Tamagotchi. So your dog right now is hungry, I guess. It has like only 3 out of 5. So let's feed it some food. Once you drop some food, notice its hunger now increased to 4 points. And its happiness is pretty good, so we don't need to play tennis with it. But it's not very clean, right? It's only 2 out of 5, so let's try to wash it. Wow. So now the cleanliness is 4 out of 5. Very cool. I mean, there's so many things you can do with it. And you know what the crazy thing is? This is all free. If you notice, I haven't really talked about pricing in this whole video. It's because there is no pricing, at least for now. I would imagine their server bills are going to be really damn expensive. I mean, they're using Cloud 3.5, plus they're using some image generator to create these images. I mean, these compute bills are going to be pretty hefty. I'm not sure how they are sustaining this. If I were to guess, this is probably going to be paid at some point, so definitely do take advantage of this while it's still free. So that's it for Websim. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Let me know, do you think this will replace or change the real internet in some way? Do you think if this gets good enough, will users eventually use this instead of the internet and create their own personalized internet simulation, which is only feeding them with content that they want? And if you've tried out this and you've created some cool projects, also welcome to share those in the comments below. As always, I will be on the lookout for the coolest and latest AI tools to share with you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Also, we built a site where you can find all the AI tools out there, as well as look for jobs in AI, machine learning, and data science. So check that out at ai-search.io. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.